Here's a picture of my first accordion. How did I get started? Well, before COVID started, and I say that because the sales for musical instruments really jumped high during COVID, but I did start this before COVID. I saw a YouTube video of people playing classical music on the accordion. Now, I grew up with classical music, but the classical music I was hearing on these accordions were different songs than I'd heard before, and they were beautiful. I'd always hated accordions, which is surprising since I grew up with Lawrence Welk and they had accordions on there all the time, and I don't remember hating those accordions. But I do hate the fast, loud, obnoxious sound of most accordion music. And I did get a toy accordion as a kid, and it sounded the worse than any other accordion that I've ever heard. And it had so many straps I couldn't figure out how to put it on. I had nothing to do with it. I don't even know what happened to it. Anyway, this is the first accordion that I had. After I saw those videos, I said, I wonder if there's a phone app so I could learn or at least mess around with the accordion on my phone. And there were several. So I tried them all. I don't know, I must have 3 or 4 of them on my phone now. And then I started playing it like it was a miniature accordion. And you might picture Charlie Brown, the Linus character, leaning over his piano. So I was holding the phone accordion correctly, but my perspective was different than a real accordion because I was leaned over my front to see what I was doing on the accordion. The keys are so small, I had to be very precise. You can make the keys sizes bigger and smaller, but the more I learned how to play, the more notes I wanted to be able to access at one time. So I kept making them until finally I just made the keys as small as they could be. And there were plenty of free online accordion lessons. I used Dale Mathis's free accordion lessons. This was over a couple years ago before he even added more to his lessons. And I went through, well, I don't remember how many he had at the time, but I certainly went through his first 20 lessons and beyond that. And he had an easy songbook and a first solo group of songs. And I went through them all and I was getting pretty darn good. Now, of course, I couldn't do the bellow action, but I could certainly learn how to play my right hand and my left hand, which it's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly, 2 different things. They're not the same kind of keys, as you can see. Anyway, so I did that probably for, I don't know, about 6 months or so, and then I finally bought a real accordion. Here's a picture of the first real accordion I got. And it was used. It's older and it had its issues, but it got me started. It was nice and small compared to some accordions, so that was nice to get started with. And I played with it for several months, and then I decided I needed an accordion with fewer issues. And so I got another accordion, another acoustic accordion. Here's a picture of now my 3rd accordion. And I played it for several months. And then finally I got the opportunity to get the accordion that I wanted, which is this one, the digital accordion. And the reason I wanted it had all kinds of bells and whistles, almost literally. It certainly could sound like a variety of accordions, and it could sound like many different kinds of instruments. It had all kinds of orchestra instruments like flutes and clarinets and trombones and even harmonicas, all kinds of instruments. And still, of course, it also had organ sounds as well. So it had a lot of variety, and I figured that would be fun to use in the different songs I wanted to play, and it would also keep me from being annoyed by only hearing the sound of an accordion.